Hello, my name is Mahalia and I am from a tiny little city in the UK. It's called Leicester, and I'm a singer-songwriter, I would say. So I'd always known about Eartha Kitt ever since I was a kid. I just never really kind of had gone deep into who she was and what she did. I think my first introduction to her was her singing Santa Baby, because I must have been like maybe 7 or 8 when I first heard that. And that was when I first knew her and her voice and what she looked like. And then it must have been like 4 or 5 years ago, my mum showed me the interview of her in the garden when she's talking about love and compromise. It was the one video that kind of made me understand a lot about myself, because a lot of her views I have, and a lot of what she says I really agree with. The word compromise can be seen as such a negative thing. And even for me in my music, because I talk so much about being independent and like never letting a man make me feel a certain kind of way, people really think that I hate men. And I don't. In my life, I should be the most important person, and then whoever comes into that would share that with me. And that's everything that she says. Naming my album after that interview just made perfect sense. And then using some of the clip also made a lot of sense, because I wanted the whole world to understand that is such a huge part of my work. So I was 17, I was in my last year of college, and there was this guy. And I remember because this was like the first guy that I dated. And I remember feeling really confused, because I grew up in a way that was like, you know, if we're dating, then I'm yours and you're mine. But this guy didn't have it like that. So I was really thrown back by it. And I remember my mum was like, you need to watch this thing. It was because I was changing myself, you know, like I was changing myself to appease him and to make him feel okay. And my mum was saying, I don't understand why you're doing that to yourself. You know, you need to be who you are and not change your morals because somebody else has asked you to. When I first watched it, I genuinely thought she's saying, I would never compromise. And she laughs and she does her thing. And she's saying, I would never do that. But actually, when I watched it again and again and again, and then I got older, when you get to the end of the clip and she says, I fall in love with myself and I want someone to share that with me, I'm like, that's what she's saying. She's not saying, I'm not going to change. She's saying, I'm going to respect you and you're going to respect me. And I think that's what compromising is. And it's taken me 4 years to work that out. But I truly think that compromising is purely just having respect for somebody. With my music, I think I'm trying to change the narrative. You always see so many singers talking about being the weaker one or being hurt. And I'm talking about that, but I'm talking about it in a way that's like, no, you need to show me respect. I feel like as a society, we're so used to talking about people making us feel terrible and feel weak and not feel good about ourselves. Whereas actually, I come out of a lot of relationships now feeling better about myself. Respect is definitely a thing that I talk about a lot. It's not in an aggressive way, it's in a way that I'm just like, just be nice to me. If I ask you to wash the dishes, then please just wash the dishes. That's just me showing you respect and you showing me respect. I love being regular. Being on stage is one of my favourite places to be in the world. But there is something so amazing about being on the ground and just smelling and seeing and feeling things. And like, when I'm away, I really miss that. All of my best friends are friends that I have from school, which I think is a huge part of why I'm so normal, because my friends are my friends from when I was a kid. I think being regular is so attractive. And it's really funny actually, because in my relationships, I'm always really attracted to guys that are like completely separate from what I do. It's gotten me into trouble before. There's a couple exes that I should probably apologise to at some point. I don't worry, because essentially, when I'm on stage, I'm Mahalia, you know, and all of my stories are true, but I'm there for a reason, and I want to tell those stories. There's some stories that I don't tell, but then when I come off the stage, I'm at peace with it. Like, I'm okay with letting that go. I want people to know that I'm not just singing songs and like putting lyrics together for no reason. they all have a story. Even though I share a lot, I definitely am scared about people knowing too much about me. I understand getting scared by the language thing, because I do sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll speak and I'll say something that I know will be funny at home, and then everybody will just look at me and I'll be like, oh, but there's something really special about that. And also, there's probably one person in the audience who knows what you're saying. It's definitely something that I think audience members want more of. When I was a kid, all I wanted was for artists to just speak. Square one for me signifies album 2. Going back to square one for me is exciting, because I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen now, you know? And also when the album came to an end, my relationship came to an end, so I really was going back to square one. So it made sense to put it at the end. I love happy endings. I've just never had one. I watch a lot of romance films, like an unbelievable amount. Do you know what it is? Is that being an artist and being a songwriter has made me cynical. I'll get into something and I'll be writing about it and it'll be amazing, and then it will go bad and I'm like, oh, and then I write about that, and then it's like, I definitely feel like I'm in a cycle. But as a songwriter, that's also a dream come true, you know? Never running out of inspiration.